Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Truth Podcast. My guest today is Peter Klamka, and he's a serial entrepreneur who morphed a restaurant into a platform for the emerging delivery industry. Welcome to the show, Peter.
Great to be here.
It's awesome. I love this concept, and I don't know. I'm going to have you explain a little bit about what it is that you do and how you got there.
Sure. So I arrived in Las Vegas about 3 years ago, spent 20 plus years in various aspects of financial services in New York City. For a family change, we came to Las Vegas and thinking, oh, I've been successful in other things. I've had successful deals, had a few non-successful deals. Maybe I should buy a restaurant by the Las Vegas Strip. So I bought a restaurant by the Las Vegas Strip thinking this is easy. 40 million tourists come through Las Vegas every year. You can see the Bellagio and the Aria from my parking lot, and this will work out very well. Not so easy running a restaurant. You can order in a restaurant, and yeah, I'm very good at that. You can drive to a restaurant, and I've done that, but actually running it and personnel and menus and ordering and bad Yelp reviews and good Yelp reviews and all of that, very difficult. Now, being somebody who has been involved in a number of different industries, I sort of stepped back and said, okay, operating a single restaurant isn't that exciting to me. But what do I have? And I have the ability to provide restaurant services for the 40 million people that come through Las Vegas. And I was noticing that our orders were declining on walk-ins. So the drive up, the walk-ins, declining. But what was going up was our delivery. Uber Eats, Postmates, Grubhub, DoorDash, all of these services were continuing to get more and more of our business. So I'm next door to 600 hotel rooms and 900 apartments. People who could walk were still ordering from Uber Eats or from Postmates from our restaurant. So I said, this is very interesting. And so I decided, okay, how can I take what I have and focus on delivery? So we came up with the idea of using our restaurant both to focus on delivery, develop our own brands, and partner with others who are interested in getting into the restaurant business. So essentially, that's what we're doing with the asset that we have, which is the commercial kitchen in the shadow of the Las Vegas Strip.
Wow, that's really interesting. So you're taking advantage of us lazy people. No, I'm just kidding. But it's true, though. You know, if it used to be that we would have to go to the store for groceries. Now we can just get Lyft or something else that'll we can get groceries from the store. We can get food from the restaurant, and we never really have to leave our house.
You never have to leave your house. People have their favorites. People open up their phone, and people our age are too tired to go out and sit in a restaurant at 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. So we can just do the delivery, and it will be at our door in anywhere between 20 minutes and an hour, depending on where you live and what you order. Then the younger generation, from 11 to 49, they're just used to ordering. They never went to a Blockbuster. They always streamed. They never bought a CD. They always downloaded from iTunes. And so just download your food. Just have it on the app and have it dropped off. So I think we're in the middle of or the early stages of a restaurant apocalypse. You will have high-end dining for special occasions, the anniversary, the dinner, the special occasion. And you'll have the drive-through from McDonald's because you're too hungry to wait, or you just want something really quick. The middle restaurant, the Applebee's, the Pizza Hut, the restaurants like mine will go away because there's just not enough foot traffic anymore to come in and sustain the number of restaurants that we have now, just like Amazon is killing or has killed off most of the shopping malls.
Yeah, Oh, sorry. And to your point, though, I've noticed Pizza Hut used to have a pretty big space, and they had to eat in, and now they're going into strip malls, and they're tearing down their places, and they're strictly delivery now. So what you're saying is absolutely true.
Don't need to spend the money on the real estate. Also, your personnel costs go down. your overhead costs go down because you don't use as much electricity. You have different insurance, you have different expenses. It is really just a delivery only model.
Yeah, it is. And that's where most of their revenue is coming from anyway.
Sure.
So yeah, and you're right. The trend is get it delivered, get it home so that I can sit back, watch TV and have a nice dinner. Basically what it is.
And then go to bed and do it all over again the next morning.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. How'd you come up with this idea?
So basically what happened was we were coming through a transition period when I bought it with management and ownership, and I had some bad employees, and I didn't want to close the restaurant and get no revenue at all. So what I did was I said, okay, let's just do the delivery service. Let's just do delivery until I find the right staff. And I had a manager who was borrowing from the company, and and so we just used it as a way to keep the overhead covered while, excuse me one second, while we were restaffing. So it was born out of, I don't want to come out of my pocket to pay the rent, so we'll just use the delivery business. And then we realized, even when we were not serving the table service, we were still doing fine. And so if you can also promote your table service, well, your delivery service with coupons, with electronic ads, with Instagram ads. Put a beautiful picture of your hamburger or your tiramisu or your pasta on Instagram with a link to your Uber Eats page, and you'll sell just as much as if you bought a billboard outside.
Oh yeah, it's a great idea. It's a great idea.
So it was born out of,
everybody does that.
We don't want to go out of business. We don't want to lose our investment. How do we take what we've got with the existing customers that we have while we find a better manager, retool? You can run this with just a couple of chefs.
Yeah.
And a counter person.
That's really something. It really is, because and also because of the fact that we have Uber Eats and all that other stuff, you don't have to pay the delivery drivers either and have that headache.
Or the insurance of the delivery drivers.
Ooh.
And in the mind of the customer, they're saying, okay, I'm not tipping the waitress, so I'll pay the delivery fee.
That makes more sense.
So, yeah. I'm going to tip 18 or 20%. Well, it's a $6 or $7 delivery fee. Okay, I'll just pay that.
That makes a lot of sense. It makes the whole concept seems like it's going to save the business owner a lot of money.
It will save the business owner, because if you are really concerned about being in business, so there's two people who own the restaurant. There's people who are in the business of owning a restaurant, and then there are people who like the social aspect and regulars and cheers where everybody knows your name. So I'm in the business portion, not the social portion. And the trend is not people coming in and hanging out anymore. It's people eating somewhere else. Off-premise dining is what they call it in the business.
Wow. So it really does sound like a really unique opportunity to take advantage of something that's becoming a trend in every space, pretty much. Even the library, you can rent stuff online now.
And I don't know when it started. Maybe it started with streaming or Netflix sending CDs, but the trend is drop off. The trend is somebody leaves it at your doorstep, or you sign for it, or you have it at an app and you're in your pajamas. Yeah. That's really what it's coming to.
That's amazing. So what's your plan for expansion or growing your business?
So we're looking at different locations. We have a location that we're building out in Los Angeles, which is plagued by traffic. So people don't want to go out as much because I'm going to sit in traffic for an hour to get my dinner. So I'll just order it. And then we're looking at other locations, more suburban locations in Las Vegas. And what our focus is to rent space and develop our own brands. So when I say rent space, so if you have always wanted to open your own restaurant, you can open a virtual restaurant with us for very inexpensive. Some rent, you buy your ingredients, and you've got to do your own marketing. So one of the keys of this business is you always have to be marketing. That's why I'm doing podcasts. That's why we have a great Instagram presence. That's why we have good pictures. It's always about letting the customer know that you exist. And it's about building the following. The following is different now. It's not always coming into the restaurant. It's online. It's on
Mhm.
Twitter, it's on Facebook, and it's primarily on Instagram, especially for the younger audience. Then the other area, which was part of my background in another life, is we're looking to partner with brands, a celebrity that wants to own their own Las Vegas restaurant. So you can do it now with us, and we'll partner with you depending on the strength of the celebrity and the business model, or developing brands in conjunction with. So we've talked to sports leagues and movie studios and ex-athletes, and we're trying to figure out what's the best fit. So you could have, we want to find the next Gordon Ramsay, and the next Gordon Ramsay isn't going to have a big space at Caesars. He's going to have a big space on your phone. And that's really where we think that there's some exciting. And if it works in Las Vegas and it works in Los Angeles, I can take it to Michigan. I can take it to New Jersey. I can take it to Orlando, Florida. So we have two great test laboratories here.
That's awesome. No, that's really something else. So you're taking the trend. You want to partner with people that have a strong following and a brand, and people that recognize those people, so that you can get instant marketing. Basically, that
Sure,
that's
if they
that's
have
brilliant. Yeah,
10 million followers and you
yeah.
say, hey, when you're in Las Vegas, you can go to my restaurant. And of course, one of the ongoing conversations with one talent was, oh, for a promotion, I'll deliver it to somebody's house. And it would be a huge media
That'd
splash
be
if
cool.
I deliver the pizza or the hamburgers or whatever that they order. And so that's one of the areas for somebody who has a large following to create a way to create additional ways to monetize and to interact with some of your other sponsorships or some of your other brands.
Then the advantage is the space. You already have the commercial kitchen. You already have the smaller space. The space that you need to get into now is Instagram. Is the online space is where you're trying to get into now, rather than location any longer.
Yes, that's the real estate we're looking for. For operating a kitchen like this, you don't need to pay expensive rent because of the traffic count or foot traffic or it's next to something. You can have it in an industrial area, and all you need is good parking and a good waiting area for the delivery drivers. It doesn't really require, there's no build out. I'm not buying booths. I'm not buying TVs. I'm not buying glassware. I'm not, all of the things you need to buy for a restaurant, don't buy them anymore.
That's something. Yeah, that's something, because that's a lot more inexpensive than it would be to open. Say how much did you say a typical restaurant to open? How much would that cost?
I mean, at least $1 million now. I mean, and if you're talking about something in a high traffic area like New York or Los Angeles or a casino or something like that, could be 5 million, depending on what you have to, on the build out, on the type of fixtures that you need. And then there's the wait time. So you have all this money, you don't get your license overnight, you don't get your liquor license, you don't get the health department there. If there's something wrong, you have to fix it or adjust it, or you don't get the fire department there. So you've got that money tied up before you sell one piece of cheesecake.
Yeah,
Whereas in our situation, if you wanted Jim's restaurant, you're up and running in less than a week with $10,000 or less.
that's amazing.
But
So
then
that's
it's
what I
up.
was going to ask. I was going to ask, in comparison, how much would it be to partner with you and use your kitchen and your brand?
So, well, if you're a big brand, I mean, it'd be nothing because you're putting up the
Oh,
brand
I see.
awareness, right? So if you are a huge former athlete or a Kardashian or somebody like that, it's nothing. And then we would work on the how the business breaks down. If you are an you've always wanted to have your own restaurant, you've always wanted to try this out, or you have a large following, less than $10,000, you can be up and running. But then it's up to you to bring in your customer, because you still have to pay the rent every month. And the food business, like the floral business, goes bad. So you've got a limited shelf life on how long you can keep the chicken and the milk and the eggs in the refrigerator. But if you have that following, you will easily be, or you can, or develop it, you'll be easily able to turn that into a business for yourself.
That's really cool. And I think because of the online space and our instant connectability, I think that has really accelerated businesses nowadays. Whereas before, we just didn't have that connectivity, and we didn't have the way to get to the people fast enough, or get to as many people this inexpensively or free.
Sure, you can buy a Google AdWord ad and be up to date. Whereas in the old days, you got to buy a newspaper ad that wait till it comes out, or a magazine ad, or send something through the mail. I can have an Instagram ad before you and I are done talking today.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's that easy. And if you do have a following that is interested in what you're doing because you built it right, then possibilities are endless nowadays.
Sure,
It's just so much different than it used to be.
it's the model has changed. Just like, have you bought it? People buy things from Amazon and they want it in a day or two.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to drive to the mall and drive around and look for parking.
that's an interesting aspect too. So, how long does it take for delivery versus I can go to the store and get it, or I can go to Burger King and grab a burger or something like that?
Well, then you got in your car and you had to drive around and you had to wait through the drive-through and you had to do all of that. The delivery times vary. Tomorrow it will be big because it will be slower because you've got the Super Bowl. And today you can get something in 20 minutes.
Wow, 20 minutes.
Well, it also depends on where you are. I mean,
Yeah, traffic and all that as well.
if you're far from us and you just love our pasta, it will take you it'll take a little longer. But the other idea is to locate the kitchens in high traffic areas to have 30-minute delivery or less, sort of like the old Domino's.
Okay.
So your popular items. That's the other thing, is the data aspect. So I know Fridays we sell a lot of pizza in the afternoons, so we can prepare for that, because we've gotten, in the past, we've had 150 pizza orders Friday between 3 and 7. So I know when I place my order that that's going to, and I can also promote it. I can adjust the price up or down. I can add soda. I can add breadsticks. I can add all of that, because over time, I know who you are, what you order, and when you order it.
Wow. Yeah, the tracking system nowadays is amazing too. It's not just that we're able to connect with people. We're able to know what they do, what they purchase, and when. That's really nice too.
And how they pay. And
Yeah.
so for a brand who comes to us, we can say, okay, in Las Vegas, these are the top 10 popular dishes for breakfast or lunch. And so we can customize it and have it be your brand's omelet, your brand's bagel and lox, your brand's chicken soup, because we know those are the top 3 items that are ordered between 7 a.m. and noon from the delivery services here in Las Vegas.
Wow.
Same thing in Los Angeles, same thing in New York, same thing in Ann Arbor. You're able to take the data and then create an offer for the customer, and they open up their phone and say, oh, it's the omelets are on special today, and I'll get 2 of those then.
That's amazing.
You take the guesswork out of it.
Yeah. You just take the data and you plug in the data, give them a little bit of a discount, and you're selling a lot more than you would have in the first place.
Correct.
Wow. The marketing aspect of this is so easy too. It really is. It used to be you put up a billboard or something, you know what I mean? And
you don't know who's
thousands
of
dollars.
Yeah, you don't know who's driving by.
Yeah.
You don't know why they're driving by. You don't know any of that.
Right.
They could be on their way to a funeral. They could be on their way to the airport. You don't know if you'll ever see them again, or they're in the right mind to receive your message.
Yep.
But using Instagram, using the apps, using a simple email list, all of that you can, and you have the data from the past. Okay.
Yep.
I can target the customer.
Yeah, you know what the customer's ordering because you have the history.
Sure.
The order history. So now all of a sudden the trends are popping for you. Like you said, who's ordering what, and how much of it are they ordering, and what's the most popular thing that they're ordering. So now I know from my customer database exactly what to put on sale, promote, all those things.
And when they order it, because when you're ordering perishables, you don't want to be stuck with something that only sells Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and you've got to let it sit there on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
That's true. That's true. It's an amazing time we live in, isn't it?
It is. It's really a lot of fun. And it all came because somebody was borrowing money from the company that they shouldn't have been borrowing. And I said, how are we going to use what we have to create additional margin and make the business interesting and scalable?
Wow. And then you were talking about earlier about, like Amazon putting out Walmart and all these things, and just things change. And if you're not on board with the change, then you are going to go under. But if you hit that wave,
Sure. I mean, you'll see a lot of on restaurant industry publications. The number one reason for bankruptcy on these restaurants, on many restaurants, they cite is we didn't prepare for delivery, or we have too high a lease, and the customers have focused shifted to delivery.
hmm
Our overhead's too high, or we're diehard restaurant people, and we don't agree that something should be served in a styrofoam box.
mm. Do you do the delivery yourself, or are you going to hook up with Grubhub or somebody like
No,
that?
we work with all of the delivery services, right?
Oh,
We're
okay.
delivery service
That's
agnostic.
perfect.
Our focus is on creating cool packaging. Our focus is on building the database and offering somebody who orders Uber Eats from us, building the loyalty between our product and them. We don't really, not necessarily focused on the middleman. So cool
Yeah,
packaging, memorable things to stick on your refrigerator, a 10% coupon, all of those things to build the relationship with the customer.
that makes perfect sense. So yeah, there's a lot of headaches that you've eliminated by this process.
Had to eliminate them because I was bad at them. And focus on what you do. So we're very good at marketing. We're very good at leveraging the additional revenue from the assets that we have. And we're not so good at managing, service economy people for whatever reason. So it was like, okay, um, somebody else does that better than us. Why should we get involved? They're very good at what they do, which is delivering, and creating that experience. We'll do what we do, and that's how you can prosper.
That makes perfect sense. So I want you to be able to just tell everybody exactly how they can either get a hold of you, or if they wanted to partner with you, and just the floor is yours for this time
Sure,
for
thank you.
now.
So you can just go to our website, Cordia Kitchens, CordiaKitchens.com. If you're in Las Vegas, you can always come in and see us. The restaurant's The Blind Pig on Dean Martin Drive, which is now probably a little bit away, less than a quarter mile away from the new Raiders Stadium. So that's another source of business, which we actually think will be more parking and delivery will be the two benefits from the Raiders coming to Las Vegas for our restaurant. And you can follow us on Instagram at Cordia Kitchens on Instagram.
It sounds good. That sounds really good. On this show, sometimes we try to go into some of the things that have held you back on your journey. So if you could tell us, you said you've been a serial entrepreneur and all that. What is number one lit the fire for you to want to become an entrepreneur in the first place? And what roadblocks have you hit along the way?
So some of it was family. Grandfather and father were entrepreneurs, so I saw it growing up. Some of it was I really didn't like, and I worked for a while at a traditional investment bank in New York when I was younger, and the politics and the 9 to 9 work schedule and the favoritism. So I was always more inclined towards the meritocracy. So that was sort of how I became went the entrepreneurial path. The difficulties. The difficulties are endless. They range from regulatory issues with, getting various licenses and permits here in Las Vegas to when I was in investment banking, SEC, and various state securities issues. So there are always personnel not showing up, people giving their friends drinks, catering, a gentleman starting a catering business overnight in your restaurant. They run the absolute gamut. So as far as difficulties go, but the key is the difficulties aren't fatal if you keep a little money in the bank and keep going, right? So those have been the two things on any of these ventures. Just like the restaurant, we were at a crossroads. How do we take what we have and reinvent it into something that will be far more successful with the ghost kitchen concept than we would had we just been running an awesome restaurant in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah,
That's
that's amazing.
we could literally just have a nice restaurant, a nice business, kind of boring, and no growth. And if you were going to grow, it would take a significant amount of capital to replicate our restaurant in different cities and different markets. And it's not that easy. You can easily replicate it online.
That's so cool. I mean, I just thinking about the Raiders showing up. That's got to be a buzz around town right now.
It is. And from my standpoint, I have an amazing sized parking lot less than a half a mile from the stadium. So it's become a real estate play for us. And it's good buzz around town. We have a few events set up for the NFL draft, which is coming up in April, and then preseason, then finally when the Raiders come to town. I think it will be on balance good for Las Vegas. I think the stadium on balance will be good for Las Vegas, as long as they start adding in extra events. A Final Four would be great. A college national championship would be great. Big concerts would be great. But you've got, starting with the NFL team, I think is a good start.
And I think they might hold the draft there at some point as well.
Yes. But from our standpoint, every restaurant, every hotel room is going to be full. So we'll be able to deliver deliver to you quicker in your Airbnb or your hotel than you would if you had room service. And if you're tired from driving in from LA or San Francisco or wherever you've driven in from, it's an easier option just to pop open your phone.
It really is. I appreciate you being on today. I think we've had a wonderful discussion. I really like what you're doing. I think it's a novel concept. It's something that is trendy. It's something that's coming out new, and I like that. A lot different than some people that we've had on before, so I appreciate that too. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with before we go today?
Don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to say, what do I really have? And then what's happening outside of my doorstep? Because it's easily could have been, oh, I just need to keep doing the restaurant thing the same way it's been done since 100 years ago. Things change.
Yeah, they do. And folks, take advantage. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
When was the last time you used your fax machine?
Never.
Exactly.
I mean, it's been probably for me since 2006, maybe 2000.
Same here. So it all changes.
Yeah.
It all changes. And to survive, you just have to adapt to what's going on.
Yeah, it's just like receipts and stuff. Now you can keep receipts and things online, or you can take a picture of them on your phone. It'll sort them for you, and it's just so much different. Business is so much different, so much more streamlined now than it ever has been,
and faster.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great conversation, and I really appreciate you being on today. Everybody, hit the subscribe and like button on the video, and we'll see you next time.